What's up, gang? It's your boy Laylo, and yeah, I'm back to do this quick video about a movie that I just watched that everybody's been hyping up so much that I had to go see it. Not the hugest horror movie guy because a lot of them shits just plots be bad. There's been a few here and there where I'm like, oh, this is actually a really good film. But mostly it's just jump scares and bullshit, costume design that you're going to see a horror movie for. Not really into that too much. But this movie, supposedly none of that, not a gory horror movie, not some slasher flick or something like that. So I was like, let me go check this out, man. The movie is called Obsession. And people were saying this was the greatest horror movie in the last 10 years. I even seen people say this is the greatest horror movie of all time. Like, that's some pretty massive praise. Now, I will start off by saying that the acting in the movie was absolutely phenomenal. I'm not sure about the young lady who played the lead role. I can look it up. Won't bother to. I'm sure you guys probably know her name. If you don't, it's okay. She was actually the star of the show. Obviously, she's one of the main antagonists in the movie, or in my opinion, she was a protagonist if you really think about it at the end of the day. But that's neither here or there. She killed the role. Like her facial expressions, her body movements, the random screams she did, like she killed the role. But let me just do a quick rundown of what the movie's about. I'm not gonna go through the movie scene by scene. I don't have no script in front of me and nothing like that. But basically, the movie is about an incel who has his little friends group. It's two girls and two guys. They have their little friends group. He is besties with one of the girls. Well, the other guy is his best friend, but he's really good friends with the other two girls, and he likes one of the girls. And she treats him like a little bro. She even referred to him as a little bro. She told the other girl in the group privately that she wasn't really interested in him romantically. She kind of looked at him like a little bro. So, this nigga goes to a jewelry store. She says she lost a necklace down the drain or some shit. And he was on the phone with her when it happened. So he's a lame. So he was like, I'm going to go to the jewelry store before we go out for our friends outing. And I'm going to get her a new necklace. I mean, it was kind of sweet. I don't want to call him a lame for that. That's just being a good friend at the end of the day, I guess. But he had ulterior motives, obviously, because he was really into this girl. So they're driving home from their night out or whatever. They go out and have a good time. They're driving home, and she basically puts him on the spot, like, "Yo, do you like me?" And he's trying to work himself up, like the whole time previous in the movie, he's trying to work himself up on how to tell her. He's talking to his friend about how to, he's rehearsing with his boy, like, how do I, you know, say these things? Is this good to say? Blah blah blah. Trying to pump himself up because he's an incel. He's not good with women at all in any way. He's terrible at dealing with women. I can see why the girl didn't like him at all. It's very clear. But so he's talking with his boy, whatever, and he stops by when he stopped by the jewelry shop to get the necklace. He bought this little, I forgot what it's called. It's a wish stick. That's what I'm gonna call it. It's called a wish stick. It's basically just a tree branch that you break in half and you make a wish. And little did he know this wish was about to come true. So, like I said, they were coming home after their night out with friends or whatever, and she put him on the spot, like, "Do you like me?" He's trying to work himself up to say the truth, and he just couldn't get it out because, again, incel behavior. Uh, he couldn't work it out. All he had to do was say yes. She either gonna be like, "Ew, nah, not really my flavor. I see us more as friends," like she's been telling everybody. Is probably what she would have said at the end of the day. And or she would have just been like, "Yeah, I'm with it. I like you too." It was only two options, bro. You gotta learn how to deal with rejection. I get rejected all the time. That's because I go to uh I go up to bat all the time. I'm swinging for the fences every time I step outside. So you gotta learn how to deal with rejection, my man. But so this wish comes true immediately after. As soon as she got out the car, he made the wish. This nigga, he's still parked out outside her car. She just at the door. She comes back out the house. She just at the door, just standing there staring at him. in the dark. Like I love how they played it to where she was always in the shadows. Like that was kind of cool. It was extremely creepy. Extreme. This movie was creepy and very cringe. Scary? No, not at all. But so at that point, everything goes off the rails. She pretty much became an obsessive psychopath of a girlfriend. They had their little moments where they look happy for a little bit. They didn't say how long it was, but there was a little time lapse showing them doing all the couples things, and they're happy. And then shit just started getting twisted and demented, and she started going off the rails, like for real, for real. Bitch taped up the door at night so he couldn't go to work. She ain't taped like just around the edges. The bitch put duct tape. She used at least 17 rolls of duct tape. She just the duct tape was this thick on the door. It was a layer of duct tape this thick on the door, over covering the entire door. So she's crazy at this point. And yeah, he's just trying to figure out what to do. He's coming to the realization that it was the wish that he made that night that is making all this happen. So the nigga calls the customer service. There's a customer service number on the box. This is probably the funniest part of the movie. I ain't gonna lie. Customer service number on the box. He called it and he's just explaining to the guy, and the guy clearly knows what's happening. He already knows. He's like, "So did you make a wish that you regret making?" Then he was like, "So do you want to cancel your wish?" He was like, "No, I don't want to cancel it. I just want to adjust it." Red flag. Red fucking flag. So you know that you got this girl in a mental trap. She basically trapped inside her own body. And you don't want to cancel the wish? My nigga, you're torturing this girl. And you don't want to cancel your shit, man. Like, let's just get that out. That is all. I mean, he's smashing. They fucking all the time. Like, and this girl is not even there. She's basically being R word. You know what I mean? So it's just like, all right, this is making me a little bit uncomfortable now that I know what's going on. I'm like, I don't like the way this is turning out. You know what I mean? So he's a dirtbag. She's crazy. The friends are cool. But there's a little stuff going on with them too. So the other girl in the group, she likes him. She likes the main guy. Bear is his name. I don't know why they call him Bear, but they call him Bear. That's his name. So she likes him, but she can't say anything because she kind of knows that he likes the other girl. So she's kind of keeping her feelings on the hush hush, even though the girl that he likes is kind of asking about the other girl because she probably wants them two to hook up because she's not interested in him at all. So this movie was crazy because once the girl finally is a bunch of crazy stuff happened. The girl is like literally standing in the middle of the room while he leaves to work and she doesn't move the entire time he's at work. She's just puking and pissing and shitting on herself. It's disgusting. When he comes home from work, she just looks absolutely rancid. I mean, it's just gross. Like, why would you want to ever touch something like that? She's like self-harming herself, smashing herself in the head with shit, just scars all over her face, bloody, just a complete mess. And he's terrified at this point. He's terrified. So he's just trying to figure out any way to get out of this without this bitch slashing his throat. That's what it felt like. So the friends are basically like, bro, what's going on with Shorty? They go out, they go at the bar. She starts tripping while they playing Jenga. She tells this creepy ass story uh, that makes everybody, like the whole entire bar got quiet. There was only four people. There was like 6, 7 people in that group, and the entire bar got quiet and started listening to her. That's how creepy she was, and everybody got super uncomfortable. Then she's like she was in a trance telling story, and she broke out of it like, "Oh, she's joking, guys." Everybody's sitting there like, "Oh, this bitch crazy." This movie was more funny than it was scary. I promise you. So the girl that liked him finally, she hits him up and she's like, "I gotta talk to you. I gotta tell you something. And if you don't come meet me, I'm gonna come over." Which after you just seen his girl do some crazy shit, like when they was out, I skipped this part because this is one of the funniest parts. So they were playing, I guess Jenga kind of truth or dare game. So you pull a Jenga, then you pull a block, and then you got to read what's on it, and you got to do whatever's on the block, I guess. And so he pulled one and it said immediately after her too, he pulled one and said it said kiss the person to the left of you. And it wasn't his girl, it was the other friend that likes him. So they were just looking at each other like they both wanted to do it. They were like, all right. Shorty, Shorty had, I can't even make the face. My face muscles don't work like that. They cut the camera to her, sharp cut. She, I can't even make her mouth arched all the way down. With it was like that. Mhm. Like I can't even really make the face. It was crazy though. So she walks around the table and pulls the girl's chair out while she's still in it. She just slides her chair back and steps around in front of her and says, everybody's looking like, yo, this bitch is a psychopath. And she clearly is. But so the girl was like, yo, you got to come meet me. If you don't come meet me, I'm going to come meet you. I know I'm kind of all over the place. Just try to follow along. He was like, all right, he had to sneak out the house because anytime he tries to leave the bed, even if he's going to take a piss or get a glass of water, she's like, where are you going? What's happening? Where are you going? Like she is madly, obsessively in love with this dude. Like when Beyonce dangerously in love, this is what you call dangerously in love on another level. So, he sneaks out the house. I don't know how she didn't hear him because it feels like she heard him every time he took a step. So he was able to get out the house, went over to meet the other girl, and they're just rapping. She's trying to get into some school or some shit. She's like, yo, I got my final letter. You want to open it together? Blah, blah, blah. They're doing the whole friends thing. There's clearly some sexual tension in the car. You know what I mean? They both know they probably should have been together, but he was so obsessed with this girl that he was blind to the fact that he had a better option, a more chill option right there. So they're in the car talking, and it looked like they were about to, because they brought up the whole Jenga kiss thing. She was like, yeah, I was kind of to your left, man. Gonna finish that off or whatever. My nigga, when I tell you, and I knew what was about to happen. You could see this coming from a mile away. But when I tell you Shorty ran full speed, it looked like she put her head through the window. Now, I only seen the movie once, but it is a dark movie. But she had a brick and she ran her head into the car or put the brick through the car window. I couldn't tell which one it was. But she had the brick by the steering wheel. She took Shorty's head. And when I say she bashed her face into the brick and then the steering wheel until there was nothing left but mush. That was the only really, really gory scene of the movie. That was some shit you might have seen in The Boys or some crazy series like that where it's just bloody and gory and nasty and the deaths are. Her death was worse than Homelander's death in the season finale of The Boys. We're going to talk about that in another video. I guess things to say about that. But Homelander didn't even die that horrible of a death. He died a horrible death, but this bitch got her face bashed like 40 times into a brick and a steering wheel until like her skull was crushed. Her face, it was like half a face and it was just mush. Looked like roast beef. You know what I mean? A fucking meatloaf or something. So she's toast. Dude is just sitting there in shock. Like he's just in shock. He know it's his fault. She walked around. She's like, oh, this is all your fault. At this point, it's all out in the open. She was like, you wish for this and blah, blah, blah. And we could tell that there's an entity or they never really explain what this wish stick is or who's controlling the wish stick or anything like that. They kind of hint at it a little bit when Shorty's like, yeah, I don't even remember what she said, but she referred to a tree, a stick, and said that's the only thing that could bring this kind of love or some shit. But I don't know if it was witches. I don't think it was a demon possession or anything like that, but it could have been because at one point they were in bed and he was getting up to do something. Not sure if it was go to work or whatever he was doing. Yeah, I think it was to go to work. He had to work and she didn't. So he was getting up to go to work and Shorty was asleep. But then you heard her voice say, kill me, just kill me. But the Shorty sleep. So he's like, what the fuck? Even I was like, where's that voice coming from? Is she talking in it? Because I thought she was just talking into the pillow. I'm like, voice clear as shit. So no, at that point, you realize that she was trapped inside of her own body because she was like, please, please don't wake her up. Um, just kill me now. Um, and he's this guy was a fucking loser, bro. He's like, when I say the incel maxing, this is what he was incel maxing, my nigga. Like, he's like, so do you still love me? Or do you love me? Did you ever love me? Does she actually love me? And she was basically like, or, I never loved you. We were never together, nigga. You wish this, and now I'm trapped inside. Just like, nigga, I don't want you. So this nigga, instead of like, I mean, killing her might have been extreme because then he go into prison forever. You know what I mean? So I get not killing her, but the way he walked off was just like, bitch, you don't even love me. I ain't killing you. You gonna sit here and suffer inside that fucking, you know, body of yours. Yeah, I mean, you just gonna suffer. So I'm like, he's a bitch. He's a whole bitch. Like, I don't like this dude at all. They didn't do nothing to make me like this guy in this movie. So that's basically the gist of the movie. The end kind of wraps up in, I guess people were talking about this ending like it was so magnificent. It's the most predictable outcome you could have had in the movie. So the one female friend is dead. Bear is trying to convince his boy to help him. So he goes to get another stick and he's like, yo, if you make this wish for us to just be friends, I'll get out of this situation. But of course his boy doesn't believe him. It's a fucking wish stick. That shit ain't real. So his boy is just fucking around like, I wish for $1 billion. It broke the stick. Nigga, from inside the house, didn't like this at all because where's the money coming from? Like, it's falling out of the ceiling, maybe? This got mad attic doors because money was falling in the whole room, just thick ass rolls of money. He got $1 billion. You know what I mean? It's like for hitting the wish stick. Like, they need to make more of them shits and just tell people what to wish for. We solve world hunger right there. It's very easy. But so his friend wished for $1 billion, wastes his wish, you know what I mean? But he's rich for a minute. So he's just distraught. Like, bro, that was my chance to get out of this shit. So he leaves, goes back or whatever. And Shorty is just still there, pissing and shitting on herself, the norm. Uh, and basically, she's over there, because they tried to hide the body of the girl and all that shit, but they didn't hide the body. She brought the body back to the house and had it sit in a chair because she's a fucking weirdo. So, so that was creepy. And he's just like, all right, baby. At this point, he's just like, I got to do whatever I got to do to make her happy. So this bitch don't kill me. At this point, he just watched her murder a bitch in the most gruesome way. So Shorty is being weird still and scaring the shit out of him. So he locks him. She has a gun and she threatens to kill herself if he doesn't love her and all this crazy shit. So she kind of, is not paying attention. He grabbed the gun and ran into the bathroom and locked the door. She was trying to keep him out, but he locked the door behind him. She's banging on the door. He tries to put the gun in his mouth, but he's too much of a coward to blow his own brains out because failed to mention that the guy that he talked to on the phone, I completely skipped over that part because even though that was super funny because the guy was like, yeah, I know what's going on. Would you like to cancel? It's like, no, 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 no. Oh, so you don't want to cancel? It's like, yeah. It's like, all right, you couldn't anyway, bro. You couldn't cancel that shit anyway. It is what it is. The only way you getting out of this shit is if you die or if she dies, which is, you know, a loaded situation to be in. He starts thinking about it, but like I said, he had the gun in his mouth and he went to blow his own brains out, and he couldn't do it. So he goes into his grandma's medicine cabinet, and he grabs a bottle of pills and he chugs a whole bottle of pills. Um, and then outside of the door, you can hear Shorty snapping a stick, like, cause he had bought like the last three or whatever. So I guess they were laying around. So she found one and she snapped it. And I assume she wished for him to be in love with her, like she was in love with him. And So he just snaps into this trance, and he walks out the bathroom, and they're just smiling at each other like they're actually in love now. Like they both have the same feeling now. But this nigga just swallowed a whole bottle of pills, so he dead as a motherfucker. You know what I mean? He falls to his knees and dies. And well, before that, his boy who just got the $1 billion ran in and was like, "Bro, I just got $1 billion. Let's go kick it." And she just shoots him, so he's dead. So he didn't get to spend a dime in that money. So, yeah, Bear falls over and dies from all the pills he took. And then since he's dead, she instantly snaps out of the fucking trance and goes back to her normal self. All three of her friends are dead around her. And you just hear the movie bookended with her crying and sobbing and uncontrollably just in tears. And it was like, all right, that was pretty predictable end, but it was still an enjoyable movie. I rolled my eyes like 20 times during this movie because the guy Bear in the movie is such an insufferable person. God, first of all, he just has no ability to conversate with women on a romantic level at all in any way. He's terrible at talking to women. So that annoyed me. Him like still trying to be with her at the point he found out that she was being, mind controlled or whatever the fuck it was. The wish came true, and now she has no control over what she's doing with him, and they're sexually active. That made me. I just felt creepy. It just felt a little creepy. So I was like, I don't like that party. So I rolled my eyes a few times at this movie. I was waiting for the scary parts, the parts that I assumed people said were scary. I was just like, this can't be scary, bro. Like I've seen scary movies. Like this is there's nothing about this that's scary. So I was not phased by the whatever the cinematics were of the movie. That didn't really do nothing for me. So people calling this movie the greatest horror of all time and or even the greatest horror in the last 10 years is that's not true. I don't. It's not even a horror movie. It's more of a suspense thriller. If you ask me, where was the horror? Like people die in suspense thrillers and action movies. That doesn't make it a horror. Because I mean, maybe because she's possessed, but there was no entity. There's no witch. There's no demon. There's nothing like that they mention. So it's just like, how could this be a horror movie? Why is it being labeled a horror movie instead of a suspense thriller or something like that? So it's already being categorized wrong. And even if it was categorized properly, it's not the best horror movie by any stretch of the imagination. Definitely not ever. That's just absurd to say. And I hate these professional YouTubers that get on here and start spewing this nonsense. Like that's an actual no, no. So that's my take on the movie. I get a movie like a 7 out of 10. Uh, Actually, I get a movie like a 7.5 out of 10 because the acting was fucking phenomenal. The guy made me hate him. I don't know if he's like that in real life. I assume he's not. He's acting, so he made me hate him in the movie, which I think was part of the idea. That's why no one you didn't really feel sad when he died at the end. You were just like, okay, good for her. She finally gets to escape this fucking mind prison that she's been trapped in. So everybody did a good job. The two main characters are legit future Hollywood superstars after this shoot. This movie was apparently written and directed by YouTubers. So shout out to the YouTubers, man. I love this economy of free creativity and everybody being able to go get a camera and do whatever it is they want and put out their content, kind of like I'm doing right now with this video. But yeah, man, I really really appreciate stuff like that going down. So that's pretty much it, man. That's the movie. I did skip over one thing. She fed him his own cat. The man was distraught at the beginning of the movie. His cat died because he got into the same pills he killed himself with, his grandma's pills. And the cat got in some and the cat died. She fed that nigga his cat. She made him lunch and he got to work and took a bite of that shit and then had a note in there that kind of gave the clue away that she just fed him his own fucking dead cat. Now, at that point, I'm gonna just kill the bitch. Like, all right, now we even. I did some foul shit to you with this wish stick, but you just fed me my cat, so I'm yeah, you gotta go. But that's it, y'all. Y'all can let me know in the comments what y'all thought about the movie. If you enjoyed it, if you thought it was the greatest horror movie of all time, please don't say that. I'm gonna roast you. Um, but yeah, that's it. All right, y'all, get out of here. Deuces.